Peace, love, and unity, family. Welcome to the first ever episode of Soul Talk. We're here. This is the first time I'm recording this. I want to say welcome to everyone. Um, this is a new beginning. This is a very big and significant new beginning for myself. Beginning my podcast journey, really. I mean, I've had a few dabbles over the past couple of years, but I'm finally here in a new space, in a new energy, with new intentions, stronger intentions, and more drive to be able to bring forth in this type of setting what it is that I want to share with my community and really begin to bring through streams of consciousness which are there to uplift, heal, inspire, and just raise the frequency of all of those who are touched with this type of content. So this episode today is really for me to update people, introduce myself properly, and to introduce the audience to what Soul Talk is, what Solux community is, and what you can expect from this moving forward, and really just to start a conversation about the time that we're living in and how we can individually and collectively begin to shift our own awareness into a more expanded state, and how we can begin to basically become our own healers and to transcend / let go of the paradigm which has been put upon us in a way which is trying to degenerate our souls and our physical beings. I need to be careful how I really put my message out with this new venture, because we're in a time where there is so much information out there on the digital platforms and so much contradicting information, which I think for people becoming more conscious of their own lifestyles and so on might be struggling to navigate at times this ocean of information that we kind of have in the touch of our pockets, kind of thing. Because at times it can be overwhelming, at times it can be so beautifully inspiring and motivating to be able to just receive such insightful wisdom and knowledge online from people that we can then begin applying to our own lives and our own circumstance and our own environment. And I want to play my part in this, So honestly, I'm just freestyling with this right now, with this whole episode. I thought I'd come in today, get it started, begin the conversation, let you guys know what Solux community is about, update you on what's been going on with me, a little bit about my personal life, a little bit about my business ventures, a little bit about what's been coming through me from the divine recently, and things that I feel are relevant to share at the moment. So yeah, let us begin really. You are now listening to Soul Talk. This is a exclusive podcast series which will be dropping on a fortnightly basis for now, where I myself am able to drop into a space where I can bring through whatever needs to come through me to be shared with this audience, because as I said, we're in a crazy time right now, guys. We're in a time where there's war. We're in a time where there's modern day slavery, we might call it. Um, and we're in a time where people are seeking. Although there's no seek needed, we're all seeking for something. And what I find fascinating about today's society is that we seem to be, majority of us, and unconsciously we're all probably doing this, but just walking around this earth, going about our everyday lives, day to day errands, and doing what we think is necessary to be content and happy. But collectively, we're doing this in a way like we've fully understood where we are and what this whole thing is about, what Earth is about. Because, yeah, what I find today is that we're all kind of walking around as though we figured out what this reality is. And like we're just almost waiting for it to kind of time out. Um, and it baffles me. It fascinates me how we're doing this because there are so many unanswered questions that I think people are looking for answers for or to. Um, and a lot of questions which people aren't seeking the answers for. But if people like myself or other people online um, are able to create these type of spaces where we can share, all of us, every single being can start um, sharing what they know with the intention of being able to uplift and help those around them grow to a heightened place of awareness and evolve spiritually, then we're doing the right kind of work. Um, and yeah, this type of content is only meant for the people that find themselves coming across it. So if you find yourself watching this right now, firstly, I'm eternally grateful for you. And secondly, you have come across this video with divine guidance, with something inside of you knowing that there might be things to extract from this video that can help you on your journey. And that's exactly my intention with this type of content. Um, so yeah, why are we all walking around like we figured this thing out? And I think if we haven't, which for the majority of us, we don't really know what this reality is about, then why isn't that the most pressing concern almost for a lot of people? I understand there's balance in this, and we've got to support ourselves, support our families, and survive, which is, you know, a significant aspect of this realm that we find ourselves in. But we've also got to uh, find purpose and find meaning to life. And I think purpose is one of the sole things that people lack, and or people do not have for themselves. And without purpose, you might not have a place. You might not feel like you have a place here. So to me, everyone has got their own divine purpose and their own divine expression, which I can get onto later in this conversation, and we'll delve into it many of times in other conversations that I have with myself or guests and other people that come on this podcast eventually. But to begin, I would like to introduce you to myself, how I got to where I am today, and why I'm doing this. And then I will finish off introducing you to Soul Talk and what that's about, what that is about. So, I'm Alex, if you didn't know already. Grown up in Gloucester, lived here my whole life, enjoyed living here as I got into, my late teens and early 20s and started to realize and connect with Gloucester as a place, but realize my own gratitude for my upbringing here and Gloucester as a city. Um, yeah, I mean, since a young age, I've always been kind of curious about life and what we're doing here, how I got here, how I got here, and how other people, how we all got here. I thought, I don't know, maybe it was just a philosophical, innate spirit inside of me that wanted to ask these questions, but they just started snowballing as I got into my teenage years, and from a young teenager I began to explore different possibilities, question things in a certain way, became self-aware enough to begin doing my own research and finding out my own discoveries. And it's kind of over the past nearly 10 years um, brought me to this very place right now. But it was a lot of digging, it was a lot of rabbit hole diving, and it was a lot of, dare I say it, separation, which is a huge topic which I'd like to go into, hopefully today. I should probably have a pen on me to start writing these things down, just little notes, so that we can bring them forth in the conversation. But separation, it's huge. But a lot of separation, because I think, yeah, when you embark on this kind of journey of self-discovery and spiritual understanding, you will go through a phase. It could be a week, it could be, like I said, 10 years maybe. Might not have been around that for me, but it will vary. But we're living in duality, and I think one of the most significant ways we find inner peace is to step out of duality consciousness and realize the oneness of this universe. Hence the word uni. It means one, and verse is a word or a verse in a song. So this is one song. This is one poem. This is one story. It's one theater, and it's one love. you know. So this is a unified form expressing itself in a separated dualistic nature, for the experience of knowing itself and becoming one again, essentially, fragmenting itself to realize oneness and find its way back to that source. Through many years of history, you can see how easy it is for me to take tangents. So let me just bring myself back. Yeah, my journey was diving deep into spirituality, language, mathematics, geometry, food, nature, like I said, numbers, but also astrology. I'm very interested in astrology. But yeah, delving into lots of different topics, which actually, again, seem like they are disconnected from one another, but actually, when you begin joining the dots on everything, you realize that all of these things have a unified and interconnected nature to them, where they merge and cross over with one another, and they can be used to weave together our picture and our perception of where we are and what we're doing, which is what I will keep coming back to. So yeah, I began putting all these things together in my own little way, and it took a lot of time to come to terms with a lot of these truths. As I said, feeling separated because when you start realizing some of the darkness, you will begin to feel separated from the light in different ways, and separated from other people, other souls who are embarking on their own journeys here, trying to navigate their own way through this, and feeling like there was a lack of relatability to other people, um, which eventually was overcame. Um, but I think a lot of people go through that feeling of separation and that feeling of loneliness almost, because this is a lonely path. We come here on our own and we leave on our own. And although it seems that way, as we fall into this experience, it's an experience of separation. It's the illusion of separation, this game. But anyway, I went through all of that, and yes, yeah, I started my own sort of entrepreneurial journey after leaving school. Obviously we hit 2020, and after doing lots of events and pop-up shops and selling juices and whatnot, I wanted to really, I reflected on how I could really, really begin to add more value to other people's lives, with my offering and my purpose in this society. So things started to expand and evolve and become more established, I guess, with my work. And yeah, just kind of recently, in the past just over a year, I got to a place where I kind of merged a couple of my ventures together and came up with Solux, which is what you're tapping into today and what you see today with Solux Kitchen and the brand new venture Solux Community, which is what all of this content is going to be posted on. But it is the brother brand, I guess, or the sibling brand to Solux Kitchen, where it's all about building a community basically and taking the action needed to begin cultivating a new society that needs to come out of this old one that seems to be crumbling and falling to pieces. And we'll touch on fear, but this is nothing to be in fear of, guys. The old system collapsing is a beautiful thing, but it's down to our own choice of perception to make that conclusion that this is the most amazing time to be alive that we are in right now. And let me just send that to whoever's watching, because we are living in and on the precipice of humongous change like the world has probably never seen before, where this is the furthest along we've got as a species. I'm not saying that we're more advanced than we've been in the past, because I'm aware of the different technologies that have been around before us, but I just mean the accumulation of consciousness has never got to the point that it is today, which puts us in a position to be able to shift things in a way which has never been seen before, but also be able to work with Source and the Divine in a way that has never been done before also. And we're able to receive consciousness and upgrades of our physical being, which are going to come on very rapidly, I think, which is going to transform the way that this world looks to a lot of people. yeah. So to continue and pull back from our tangent, um, yeah. This has brought me. All of this has brought me here today, where I've created Solux. I've morphed it into a healthy food and lifestyle business, which is Solux Kitchen, where obviously we offer food catering, um, healthy foods, raw juices, smoothies, sweet treats, a product range of herbal products, skin balms, tea blends, copper crafted jewelry, all sorts. You probably know a lot of this already, but for any new listeners, I'm just giving some background. And yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have the most beautiful and amazing soul to do it with me. My partner, my queen, my empress Bailey, who I'm so grateful for that she's come on board with me and as my partner, but also as my best friend, as my girlfriend, to be able to share this journey with me, but to also bring her creative skills, her talents, her own insight, her own expertise, her own love and intention into the brand, which has already helped to excel and expand invaluably and will continue to do so with the future. So yeah, we're partners with this. And Solux Kitchen now has got to a point where we're trading at different farmers markets. We are doing a lot of content online around food and health. And yeah, we're collaborating with different businesses. We're able to offer private catering for events and stuff like that. And through this set of revenue streams that we're creating, we're also able to connect with other like-hearted souls who are resonating on that similar frequency and intending to go to the same places that we're intending to go to, which is profoundly powerful when you really realize the way that the divine is weaving people into each other's lives, magnetizing souls together to really lay the foundations for this bigger picture. Um, so that's where we find ourselves at the moment. Um, yeah, I'm here to love and spread love into this world. I know that might sound a bit hippie to a lot of people, but you'll come to learn that I love to go into words, but love is an anagram for the word evolve. And the way that we evolve in this place that we find ourselves in is through learning unconditional love, learning how to love thyself, but learning how to express love in this realm in different ways. It might be vocally, it might be through gifts, it might be through content, it could be through food. There's many different ways we express love, but ultimately this is love. At the core of what this place is an underlying essence of love, which we will all return to, but we've been almost separated from in a way to for our own evolution, for our own tests in a way, you know. Like this place is a school. It's a multi-dimensional school. Um, take it out of the context of the programming and conditioning centers that we call schools today. This whole realm is a school which we choose to come to learn through emotions and feelings and thoughts and experiences and a nervous system which allows us to plug into this experience like one super intelligent computer game, essentially. And when we exit that game, we return to that loving, unified source, um, which is where we all came from, and like I said, where we'll return to. Um, but yeah, I think we evolve through love essentially, and what I'm here to do is express love. What I'm also here to do is to bring insight into all of the different pots that I've put my fingers into over the years and will do over the coming years, and be able to translate in my own digestible way to my audience how this can be applied to their own lives, and give it meaning, give it value, and help other people understand, overstand what some of these things mean, and really to help individuals feel individed. You see that in the word individual is to become individable, if that's even a word, to become whole and one. Um, by the way, you'll see me just taking little breaks because things will come into my head and I just need to write them down. Yeah, basically for people to feel purpose and to feel a connection to the creator, because when we all realize that this is no accident, this is no coincidence that we've all just ended up here with such complex forms of technology. This is the original technology, but such a complex existence. There is an intelligent creative force behind all of this, and when we collectively are able to raise ourselves to the vibrational frequency of knowing these things, our existence can be one of much more peace and contentment and happiness and art, you know, um, beauty and community. Because yeah, I mean, I don't even have to tell you. You just gotta look online or look in your community or look in different places, and you'll see what's going on. You'll see different levels of darkness taking place, which are all purposeful as well. Um, I will go on to explain more. Trust me, just stay with me. So yeah, so that's what I'm here to do. I want people to find that connection with the creator and realize creation, and if that's not necessarily something you're open to, that is completely perfect as well. And that is exactly for you in this moment. Because there's no accidents at all. And never anything is where it shouldn't be, if that makes sense. Like everything is always in a perfected place, but it's our own singularity perception or distorted perception which will cause us to think and feel like things aren't how they're meant to be or aren't perfect or working for our highest good and our highest evolution. So yeah, I'm just here to help people grow, to be honest with you, and help myself grow through doing that, and help myself grow through doing this, because we've all got challenges, we've all got internal battles that we're going through, and one of my life lessons is to get in front of a camera and do things, or to get in front of people and speak, and I'm aware of that through my own, seeking of what I'm here to do and what the soul lessons are that I'm here to learn, or what karmic lessons that I'm bringing into this life are, or just what I've chosen to teach myself in this lifetime, basically. And that's one of those things is putting myself out there, being a bit in the spotlight, and helping people through my own accumulation of ideas and perspectives on things. So yeah, I've got things to overcome there. This is obviously going to be a lot of growth for me, and I'm again grateful and appreciative that I can share that with you guys, and you can be a part of this journey with me. Um, so yeah, I will go on to a little bit about Solux community now before I just move my way on to Soul Talk. But you guys have probably got a good picture of what Soul Talk is already. Um, but I will make sure that I try and cover things that you might be a bit unsure about at the moment. But Solux community, um, why do I think there's a need for this? As I said before, um, there's a system which seems to be getting exposed. There's a lot of darkness which is getting exposed. That's actually what the word apocalypse is rooted in, is apocalypto, which is a Greek word which is the lifting of the veil. Excuse me, that's my keys. But if we look at the word veil, there's an interesting dissection of that word where there's three words in one. You've got live, you've got evil, and you've got veil. They're all an anagram for each other. So it's like we live to experience evil, to experience duality, to experience good and evil, separation from unity. And to do that living, we have to go through a veil to experience that duality. So all of those words are interlinked. And this is by intelligent design, may I add, is that when we look at language, we look at math, we look at astrology, we look at, the the human body and all of its intelligent workings, we're gonna see that nothing is by accident, and that even the language we speak, there's codes and insights and clues that a source creator, us, all of us, has left for ourselves along the way, that we've woven into this material existence to remind ourselves as we evolve back to source what we're doing here and how we get back, in a way, through seeing the unity of all things. And I like to do this through language because we're using it all the time. And so I just find it interesting, to be honest with you. I find language very interesting. So Solux community, basically, we are creating a collective, an online collective, or for the most part it will begin online, but a community, a creative community of like-hearted people who are ready to start doing that inward work and becoming their own master of themselves, becoming captain of their own ships rather than being a clog in a system, or not being the star in their own movie, not taking accountability and autonomy over their own lives, their own healing, their own food, their own awareness, their own education, their own energy sources. This is longer term stuff, but it's all a part of what we're doing. So yeah, we're about building a community. How we're going to do this is we're going to be posting a lot of online content. We're going to be on Instagram. We're going to be on Telegram, which is going to be one of our main channels. TikTok, of course. YouTube as well, obviously. So a few different platforms. And like I said, we're here to begin connecting the dots in my own way. But then through creating this community, we're going to have a community chat where we can all, it is called the solversation. Rather than conversation, it's a solversation. And by that I mean there's no conning involved. This is pure intention and from the soul, and this is here to basically begin a discussion amongst and cultivate a huge community where we can begin talking and acting on, which is the important part, um, how we basically bring our skills, our resources together to create a system that's built on the right foundations, built on the right principles, grounded in ancient wisdom, um, and like I said, all coming back to love, basically. So yeah, we're gonna have the Solversation, which is on Telegram. We will be basically offering a few different tiers of subscription where you can join this community. You can become a part of the Solux community by contributing through a subscription, or just coming onto a free membership where you get access to the chat, and you'll get a lot of different content come through, messages from myself, um, signposts to other platforms and whatnot. But we'll be offering more advanced subscriptions, like I said, where you will be able to get access to meditation resources, recipes, my own exclusive videos where I'll go into different topics and so on. I'll do my own learning presentations. I'll be offering my own digital graphics which you can print off and stick on your walls, and they can help motivate you. They can provide you with practices which you can apply in your own day-to-day life, which is all in all going to help you on your own journey. So there's going to be a lot to offer, and there will be more information about what's on offer if you check out our platforms. And this is there to really begin taking that action, because I feel like there's been so much talking about this new earth, if we want to label it that, or the new paradigm that we seem to be moving towards. But as much as there's space for talking, there needs to be more room for walking and taking that action to get there. So a lot of souls, unfortunately, may be stuck in, or feeling stuck in, a place like they don't really know how to take that action, or again, like I said earlier on, lonely or feeling separated. Well, this is a place where you can feel unified and connected and feel part of something much bigger, where you are going to be a significant part of a journey which we will all go on to find purpose for ourselves, and to create a collective purpose, a collective understanding, and collective resources which will hopefully move us towards self-sufficiency and independence from a dependent state, which we all may have, or, we've all been born into dependency, especially on the system and our food supply and our energy and our water and so on. But one of the main principles with Solux community is self-sufficiency, and moving towards that in as many different ways as we can. So there's a lot of longer term projects which we are set on fulfilling and will be fulfilling as time goes on. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here the whole time and talk about them all, but land, food forests and fruit forests. We're gonna be hosting retreats. We're gonna be collaborating with other professionals in different fields who can really give people knowledge of different areas of life which they might be struggling with, where they can actually take away practices, take away things they can act on to better themselves and better their family. And yeah, we're really, really, really got a lot of things in the back. we've got a lot of projects that we're going to fulfill in the years to come. It just all starts here right now for me. It starts with this podcast, and it also starts with setting up our Telegram channels and creating this space where I can bring together all of the amazing individuals that I've come in contact with over the years, where we can bring each other together, we can uplift one another, and we can create a family basically, who resonate with each other and know that there is brighter days ahead of us, and that we are accountable for what that looks like, and we're gonna now take responsibility for that, and you know put our heart into taking the action towards it. So that is the summary of Solux community. I really hope that you were able to understand it a bit better with that. Yeah, and powerful times, powerful times we're living in. We're in an era where our souls can do so much work. We're able to do so much evolving and advancement in the lifetime that we're in now, because we're in such a incredibly complex and intense is the right word space right now, with the world at large and the world stage. So yeah, just to move on then, guys, to Soul Talk, the podcast, which I'm super excited about. It's been such a long time coming, and to be honest, more recently I felt really quite stagnated and challenged when it comes to getting this launched. Bailey can tell you, even some of my close friends can tell you how much this means to me, and how much doing this means to me, but also, how long it's taken me to be in a place where I'm able to do this, and I've kind of gathered all my ideas, given myself the stability I needed to be in a place where I can do this. And yeah, I'm thankful that we're here now, it's happening, and trust me, we're consistent and we're moving forward with this. So if you've enjoyed this so far, please, drop a comment, drop a share, drop a like, tell a friend about this if you think they will align with what's being discussed, and just support this in whatever way you can. Join the Solversation, join the group, join the community chat, check out our Telegram channels, and stay up to date on what's going on. Fire away any questions you have at myself, and we can get the ball rolling with this, and we'll do this all together. So yeah, Soul Talk. Like I said, this is going to be going on every fortnight. There will be a new Soul Talk episode released, and in the future I'll be looking at Soul Talk exclusive episodes where we get guests on the podcast, to where I can just fire questions away at them, and sometimes a space for them to, what's the word, to help me be able to tap into that energy where I can get in that flow state myself, and be able to share what needs to be shared in each moment. But yeah, there's going to be different guests coming on here. I'm also just going to get people around me come on, to share parts about themselves, to share the knowledge and wisdom that they have, because we're all here to translate in our own unique ways a message. Like I said, the universe is a teaching in a way. Each of us, because we're all a microcosm, a micro universe unto ourselves. another thing that will go in, but this is a fractal universe where the collective or the macro is a reflection of the micro, and the micro is a reflection of the macro, and as above, so below, and as within, so without. The universe is a reflection of this whole being, and yeah, sometimes it's like other people. Well, it's not like we are all aspects of one another. I'm all here to bring each other teachings in every moment. There's so much there's so much gold to be extracted from each moment when you really tap into open yourselves up to the truth that we are all reflective aspects of one another, and at essence, at core, we are the same essence, here to experience itself in different ways. And yeah, we've all got different ways of translating our own message, like I was saying, so we've all got a message to bring and share, and having guests on will mean that I'm also creating a space for other people to share their message. So yeah, there'll be lots of Soul Talk episodes, there'll be Soul Talk exclusive episodes, and in these, you might just see me do an individual episode sometimes, where just like this one, although this is an introductory one, where I might feel like I've got a lot to let off or a lot to share, then I might do an individual podcast. But a big part of it is getting people on board, and again, just bringing people together in that sense. So yeah, that's a little rundown of Soul Talk as well. I hope that you're just as excited as I am to get into it. It's huge, and like I was just about to get onto before, it's like there's been blockages for me getting to this place. And even just being, vulnerable now, talking about it, I felt really stagnant, and I felt as though in my own personal life there's been a lot of balancing out to do with creating material stability as well as sharing my message and starting the content, because as a lot of you might know, content doesn't just create stability, and if you would like it to help with creating your stability, which is what I would, that will take time. And it's like, being able to earn a living and make sure that the home and myself, my partner, and people around us are good, and that everything's covered, as well as being able to step into that divine expression and just do what I feel like I'm here to do. And like I said, this is a big part of that. So yeah, there's been moments of stagnation where it's like, I really want to get this going, but I need to get this up and running first, or I need to make sure this is together first and whatnot. But everything happens in divine timing. And sometimes that perfect timing can feel like it's too late. If you know about that Nipsey lyric, then drop a comment. But perfect timing can feel like it's too late, like our own egos will project onto situations when we think it needs to be done by, or when it needs to come in, or when something needs to happen, or when someone else needs to do something. But honestly, things will happen when the soul inside of us is ready for them to happen, and it's ready to receive what's there to be taught and gathered from a situation. And also when on an unconscious level, you're actually ready to put yourself out there in the situation as best as possible. And that's referencing in regards to me here right now, is that, maybe I needed to go through certain things before I was able to really get on here and speak with a certain tone or articulate myself in a certain way. So we really have to just have trust and faith. Without faith, you're gonna struggle probably, you're gonna feel like not a lot's happening for you, like there's no purpose to this. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of proof around us that a higher intelligence, a higher consciousness is pulling strings on this place and um, working with us, co-creating with us to to basically go through what we need to go through and learn the things we need to learn, like I said. Um, so yeah, just to touch on, we've probably got a little bit of time now for me to just flow a bit and go into a few different things that clearly, might need to come out. But some of the things that I just written down earlier is, oneness. That topic which will be at the core of Solux community is realizing oneness and opening up our perception to what oneness is. And it's like, like I said before, this is a fractal, fragmented universe where one source, one creator, essentially, one being, has fragmented and separated itself into all these different fragments, and intentionally, basically, um, intentionally separated itself so that it can know itself. It's like if you are pure love, you can't necessarily know that you're pure love until you experience hate, or that opposing force, which is why this pure loving source creator has separated itself to fall into this duality in the 8 billion plus different expressions, plus all the animals and the earth and the tree, everything else, to experience these different singularity points. And the essence at core, it's the same being, just experiencing it in a different fleshly suit, to evolve back to itself and to experience all these opposing forces, basically evolve in its own way, because we are all this one creator, at essence. And that might be a hard thing to come to terms with, or a hard thing to fathom, but again, when you open yourself up to this, your reality will almost knit into your world experiences that help you come to terms with and comprehend these truths. And this idea of oneness, then, it's like becoming whole. Again, I just love the words, because if I said the word whole, what are the different meanings that come to mind, And there's two main ones. It's like whole, WHOLE, is when something is whole and complete. And what I find interesting, this is just my own, by the way, disclaimer before we go any further with any of the Soul Talk episodes. Do not ever take anything I say as factual. Or like, what I'm trying to say here is use your own discernment with everything you research, or everything you look into, but also like just know that I'm sharing with you guys what feels right for me in my heart and in my soul. And it's like, this is clearly something that wants to come through me. So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say everything I'm discussing is like be all and end all, but it's like I'm creating my own connections of my own experience to further understand the purpose of all of this. So, I just want people to know that I'm not I'm not here to tell people what's right from wrong, or tell people that you have to do things a certain way and did it. Like I said at the start of this, I'm trying to be very clear with my message and not ever um, come across as though, you know, I'm trying to direct people and tell people how to live their lives. It's not their lives. It's not that at all. It's that something's been filling up inside of me to the point where it's started to overflow, and it's like my soul needs to express this, and especially with things like the words, language, and finding connections and codes is what we like to call them in language and words and stuff like that. It's like I'm trying to grasp the intelligence behind and the intelligence behind all things, and how you know there's crossovers with certain words, and there's words that have double meanings. Excuse me, and just find insight and like contemplate these different ideas, and how profound it is that we're able to see these different codes in reality. And like I said, language is huge for me. So, and I've got the more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing. You really have to humble yourself in that way, and accept that, like, wow, this is an intelligence which is far beyond comprehension and far beyond um, you know concepts of the ego, which are with us all the time. And the ego is a beautiful thing as well. I bet you've never heard many people say that, but we have to embrace the ego, and the ego is the whole point of this experience. But yeah, I just want people to know, like, yeah, I'm just here to flow with myself, and to leave things as an open end. And it's like, ooh, look at the connection with this word. What do you think? Do you see that connection too? I'm not saying it's like, oh, this is a connection, and if you disagree, then you're not seeing it right. It's just like, if I put stuff out there and it resonates with you on a heart level, then it's meant for you. And it's like, I'm not really here, especially on the online thing, to debate and argue and do with other people and in the comments start. That's not it for me. And if that's where you're at, then this isn't meant for you either. Maybe right now, because I'm looking for people that can hear, see, come across new information to them, and intuitively experience it, or receive it, and be able to discern in their own way. That part resonates with me, but that might not. Or, oh yeah, I really get what Alex is saying there with that connection or that code, and be able to just tap into their heart and really feel like, okay, that makes sense for me as where I am now. It's like, especially with the food thing, it's like some people are doing the carnivore diet, some people are doing the vegan or the fruit and it's like, that's the whole point of this creation. Like I said, it's to experience a diversity of experiences, to know itself again, and to basically. I know I love Robert Grant. How Robert Grant puts it is that, like, so it's like an infinite intelligence just expanding. We're like little data sources that are like, we're all gathering data for this archaic record and database, which is the whole. And I put that in my own way there, but when you kind of begin to grasp that idea, it's like it begins to make sense, because this is an infinite realm where, as long as the sun keeps moving around us, and the time keeps going, it's like all these different singularity points are going to continue to experience unique and never experienced before experiences, which are gathering more data for this creator behind all of this, that for whatever reason needs to, like we said before, experience itself through us. Um, and it's a beautiful thing. So we have to embrace that diversity and, transcend maybe the lower energies, the lower densities and dimensions of the ego to kind of transcend into this acceptance, non-judgment and loving state of the heart space and higher. And I think that's one thing that's being forced into the collective awareness of many people on the spiritual path, is that, like, okay, there's a lot of people on the spiritual path doing different things, and it's like, well, we can't argue with each other about who's right and wrong. We've got to transcend. We've got to evolve into non-judgment, which is a very difficult thing, and it really does test the ego. And yeah, that's powerful shadow work. So anyway, back to the whole and the whole. And what I was getting at there is that whole as in a wholeness, but then whole as in a hole that you can go through. And this is why also through older religion and stuff like this, we've come forth with the word holy, because it might connect to this idea of when you really become whole with yourself and do enough reflection and enough inward work to embrace all those aspects of yourself, to really know thyself and know what you're here to do, and you become whole, you become at one with the universe and your expression here, you also become a whole. And by whole, I mean a portal. You become a hole, a channel, basically, in which the divine can channel through, a conduit. You become a antenna which can pick up this source frequency. And it happens in a very subtle way, and I'm not saying there's no one in each vessel. It's more that, like I said, we are, at essence, this divine, intelligent, creative force which is able to create art in many different forms in this space. And that creative force just wants to come through us, but a lot of the time our accumulated perceptions that have been projected or conditioned onto us, which formulates this ego, gets in the way and prevents this source consciousness being able to come through these channels that we are and play its music, basically, and sing its song through each of us. And when we do that work and we become as pure as we can with our eating and things, and also just our practice and our presence, truly presence, if anything, we can tap into that flow state and we can really connect with that channel and become a space for divinity. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that one up because I found that very interesting. One of the other things I brought up earlier, and this kind of actually just ties into the whole word, is loneliness. And I have said this on previous recordings, but never really got to actually. Well, no, I have put it out there on some videos in the past, but so some of you will remember this probably. Excuse me, but the word alone, if you add another L into it, it becomes all one. And we have a choice. When we're in a state of being alone, it is a choice, but it's also a gradual action and awareness to become all one. And what I'm trying to say is, in the world, that we're in, it's easy to feel alone. It's easy to feel like um, we are alone, and again, there's no wrongness in that either. We have to at times feel that separation, but there's the moment is pregnant with opportunity, especially when we're alone, to become all one, to become at one with the universe, and as an individual point, as a human being, um, we're able to connect with the whole in those alone moments, because often when we're in society or speaking with other people, the ego can be more present, but then it's like when you separate yourself sometimes in isolation, or some people do retreats or silence retreats or whatever, it's like that space then might begin to open up for you to, firstly, you might just be with your thoughts, running through all those thoughts and hearing that mental dialogue that goes on, and processing a lot of those thoughts, and almost just letting that mind run. Richard Dudd speaks about this with meditation practice. It's like sometimes just, if you're going into meditation, let the mind do its thing. Just sit there and let those programs reveal themselves. Let the mind do the talking for a bit. Don't resist it and try and keep bringing yourself back to like a mantra or something necessary. Like a singular word, love, 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 or just initially just let the mind do what it needs to do, and you'll begin to realize a lot of the thoughts that are whirling around our heads so so rapidly and so consistently, and that will go on for some time, and you might think about what you need to do today, or what might happen tomorrow, or what happened 10 years ago, but eventually that will quieten out, and this stillness will begin to you know take over, and this is when we can enter that oneness as well, and we can begin to really download a lot of interesting insights. That's a good word to use for some of the things that I might bring through on these podcasts, and I'm bringing through now. It's downloads. It's like we're connecting maybe with our higher selves, or the etherical realms, the archaic database, and we're able to just bring through awareness, which, if you choose to take it on board and it's for you, take it on board. If it's not, let it go. And yeah, when we are in isolation, or we're alone, or let's try to choose to feel that oneness, that all one feeling, where okay, I'm here as myself, but actually there's a higher power that's supporting me. I am able to co-create with this universe, and I have a purpose here, and let me let me connect with that higher aspect in me, um, that divine aspect in me, and begin to feel the heightened emotions, the higher emotions, the higher vibrating emotions, which we can all tap into, which allow us to to really experience an amazing an amazing and fulfilling experience here, because I don't know about you guys, but man, when I've really tapped into that or I felt moments of pure inspiration or pure connection to my purpose, or a creator, it's like, wow, it's such a loving and connected feeling, that it's like we should be striving to be in those places more often, so that we can really be able to fulfill all the things we want to in this lifetime, and complete all the missions we kind of set out to complete. We don't want to feel as though we're not fully there, or not fully doing everything that we're here to do. And like, I think that's something that I've battled with at times. It's like trying to juggle multiple things, not having enough time for, not creating enough time for something that I feel like I need to. It's like, it's very easy to then fall into a separated, headspace. And there are practices we can do that help with these things. Meditation being one of them. Positive self-talk and affirmation is another. And reprogramming this vessel. This is water, and water holds information. So the more you talk to your vessel in an enlightening and uplifting way, the more you are literally programming and coding each cell in your being to show up and experience a different experience, a different feeling. So yeah, remember that one. Are you alone or are you all one? Are you in a space where you're able to connect with the whole and connect with your higher self? So yeah, separation. Probably the last point for today, because I don't know how long this has gone on for, if you don't mind me checking quickly. I don't know. I do not. I don't know how long this has been recording right now, but we'll probably wrap it up very soon. Separation, and I have touched on it enough, to be honest, to maybe just add a little more to the point. But the illusion of separation, like I said before, we come through a veil into an illusion, basically, into a dream. We fall into a dream. And it's funny because movies really, really, really do have a lot of hidden, there's a lot of subliminal messages and hidden kind of truths in films and movies, which, again, like I said before, it's almost as though Source has intentionally left in movies, in songs, in all these different things, the clues for us to return to Source and remember the nature of all of this. And movies is one of them. There's so many movies out there. Hey, if you know a good movie that's got codes in, drop it in the comments. Because yeah, again, that's I've had some really good insights from watching movies. You gotta look at it with that. You gotta watch it with that eye as well. But yeah, there's loads there. I'm not even gonna go too deep into that. But yeah, separation, falling into this veil of separateness, and through our senses of perception, it's like, I am separate from this chair, I am separate from the people behind this screen, and I'm separate from the tree, and it's like, yeah, we've spread ourselves out into all these different experiences, and through slipping through that veil, like I said earlier, and when we kind of awaken to this illusion of separation, and we practice reminding ourselves of that when we can, it helps us to maybe deal with the challenges of everyday life, and remind ourselves in those moments of hardship, or those moments where we're faced with our ego. It's like someone does something nasty to, or you see someone in the street doing something. It's like there's a part of them which is a reflection of me, and being able to see aspects of yourself in everything is really going to help you navigate this place. Like I've said, everything on the as without is a reflection of self in some way, in ways that in most things we won't be able to see. I'm telling you now, there is a way. If I look into this camera, that camera right there was actually created from thought by a human, but also as a reflection of this piece of technology right here. And when you really look into a camera lens and how it works, you will see the I in that. And you'll see the aspect of self in that. And it comes down to cars. It will come down to a house. If you look at a car, or that vehicle, and how we get in that vehicle, operate through the senses, or sorry, the means of that vehicle, the steering wheel, the gear stick, looking out the windows, the windscreen wipers, like our eyelashes. It's like that car is reflecting to us, created by ourselves to reflect back at us an aspect of us for us to further understand ourselves. And it's like the same way we jump in that vehicle, drive to our destination, and jump out of that vehicle and go on, is the same way that the soul enters this vehicle, goes through what it needs to, operates in the way that it needs to in that vehicle, and eventually I'll leave this vehicle and I will, go on to my next mission or evolve to my next place. A house is another huge part of what mankind has created, or one of the things that we hold highly as to what we've achieved. Airplane, all these different things. What I'm trying to say is they are aspects of us. The house has windows. It has a sewage system, and so does your body. Your body has its own sewage system. Your house has its own electrical system which turns on the lights. Now, our nervous system is also a reflection of that. And we have our own electrical system in our body. So there's many different ways we can, what I'm trying to say is there's many different ways we can look at the world and see ourselves in the world, to know thyself and to appreciate this experience for what it is, because it is its own game. Coming back to the point I made earlier, it's its own game, and we have to have fun in this game. It is elusive in its own way, and we shouldn't then act from a place of like carelessness. We should recognize the illusion of this realm, but be able to still achieve, have goals, have aspirations, and have an appreciation and a love for this place. Again, Robert Grant kind of says like the way we, there's nothing to escape here. Basically, this isn't a big escape room, and we need to get out of this place called Earth. It's like the way that we transcend is through falling in love with this place and wanting to experience all that life offers in the most open and receivable state as possible, where we're loving, we're open to receive, but we're also giving, and able to share into this world the signature, or the mark that we're here to leave, and not be angry at the world, and not, like I said, this separation, it can create a lot of lower vibratory emotions where you're angry at existence, or you're angry at the world, or you're angry at the evil, and you're projecting more negative emotions onto those things, or letting those things feed off your energy, again on an unconscious level for a lot of people. And that's what separation can feel like. So the way that we can find balance internally is by actually realizing the oneness of this game, and that there can't be good without the bad, there can't be dark without the light, and that actually they're two sides of the same coin. They are one source creating both of those things for its own transcendence, its own expansion. Yeah, this is it's a beautiful place. I'm gonna leave it with that. I'm gonna say that I'm grateful for you being here and listening. I'm super grateful if you enjoyed this video. I'm thankful that I can start to record this type of content, and it's just gonna get better and better from here. Remember, this is just an introductory podcast. We are not even scratching the surface on what we're gonna get into over the upcoming months, years, however long it takes, and however long we're here for. Continue to share what we're here to share, and I enjoy it. It feels aligned with what I'm here to do, and I'm really looking forward to getting to record a lot of these episodes, to begin expanding the community and connecting with other like-hearted people and building towards a much more beautiful future, and helping one another along the way. And yeah, just want to say thank you for listening to this. I appreciate you. We've come to the end of the first Soul Talk episode. Like I said, follow us on social media. Solux Community on Instagram, Solux Community on TikTok. It should be Solux Community on YouTube too. Our food business is Solux Kitchen on all of those platforms. Drop us a follow, subscribe on YouTube, share some of this content, share a video. I love you. I'm thankful, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace, power, guidance, unity, respect.